A century and a half ago, 400 unfortunate souls were buried alive in a mining collapse 10 miles deep in the earth. Mysterious ancient catacombs surround their subterranean settlement, while bioluminescent fungus creates a ceaseless glow on the bustling city of 2000. Welcome to the rocky beaches of Brightshore.
And Kheddeerta is trying to have a closer look to see if she could do more investigation that she might have missed the first time she did it once over.
Okay. Do you, so you kind of grab a hold of one of his legs and pull him to the water, over to where it's a little more shallow. And yeah, you start looking him over. Because he's big, he's waterlogged, and his fur is starting to kind of slip here and there off of the flesh underneath, kind of coming off in clumps in your hands.
Ew.
What's your passive perception? It's pretty good, isn't it?
It is 14.
14, that's pretty good. Yeah, you're kind of like probing his stomach, like checking, like you're looking him over for other wounds. And as you press it down, you feel something press back up at you through his stomach. And then you feel
that's not good.
And then you feel something inside of him squirm and thrash against you.
You guys!
As his body suddenly lifts up from behind. It lifts about 3 feet up, and you see from its back spill tentacles, tendrils, like 1,000,000 jellyfish stingers that suddenly push its form up, elevating it above the water. Let's go ahead and roll initiative.
Sounds gross.
That's not normal, though, right?
No. I guess, like, have we seen this before?
No.
No, you have not. That's not the normal route of a bugbear corpse.
Okay, just making sure. Oh, first roll of the game.
Nice. A
Nat
20.
20. That's going to be like the only Nat 20 I rolled full campaign.
So that's a 20?
Yeah. I get +0 to initiative. 100%.
20 for Kheddeerta. What do we get? That's it so far. Oh, I need one for. Oh, never mind. Just for you, which I got. Except with the 20. Great.
Did you get my initiative?
I did.
What was my initiative?
It is a 20. It is a 20. Alright. So, Kheddeerta, you are not surprised, so it does not get advantage on its attack, but it does lash out at you, and then we'll pick up. We give you an initiative. As these tendrils and tentacles push up, elevating the body, and you look down around you, and now there are these glowing tendrils throughout the water. You find yourself already in their midst. Go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw. Ooh! That is such a good save. That is a 20. That is a 20. Okay. So the area that you are in is considered difficult terrain. You are going to take half damage. You're going to take 2 points of damage. Bam! As you are electrocuted as lightning damage. 2 points of lightning damage. as you are zapped. Yes, and the rest of you hear Kheddeerta in the other room. What do you say, Kheddeerta?
He screeches and guys, this isn't okay, as she rushes to try to get away from what's not okay.
What's not okay? Meizaphir, you're the closest to the door. You're also first to act. As you turn around and look through that open doorway, and you see the body has been drug up to that side of the room, and that scene of a bugbear corpse rising up from the depths, suspended atop these jellyfish-like tendrils.
Yeah. You're not wrong. That's not right. I will, I'm gonna try and slow it down by attacking its legs.
The bugbear legs or the tendrils?
Oh. I missed that. Yeah, we'll go for the tendrils.
Okay. Yeah,
Although,
basically they're coming out of its back. Pushing it up.
I am not taking this as in stride as I thought I was. It's a big miss.
Oh, is that a big miss?
Disturbed.
Oh, that is a big miss.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's the biggest.
Natty one.
What is it? How does it? So what does it look like? I saw it was your arm blade. Can you describe your arm blade for the group?
Yeah. So it's a scrounged rapier weapon that he found. Like the arm of. Well, it kind of looks like Walker's kind of arm, but like with a sword attached to it, and it's been hollowed out and turned into like a gauntlet type thing on his arm.
Okay.
Yeah, and he takes a swing and is also trying to get away from this thing, dance out of the way of it moving, and it just, those two actions do not work well together. And he probably kind of runs into the wall a little bit.
You go to step in to stab at it with your arm blade. Is it spring loaded? Like, does the blade extend while you're punching?
Yeah.
Yeah. You go to punch, and it catches on the door, on that door frame as you're punching through, and you released it a little bit too early, and it wrenches you backwards as you fall down into the water, splashing across everywhere, right in front of Walker, whose turn it is.
Alright, so I'm in the other room, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'm gonna move in to see what the heck's going on.
Yep.
And there's like tentacles coming out of the bugbear's back that's picked it up off of the ground.
That's
and
correct.
Does the bugbear kind of look like a lifeless corpse, or is like the bugbear moving and looking at me?
The bugbear looks like a lifeless corpse.
Okay, but it's got tentacles coming out of it.
A husk that is like a bag, like a grocery bag full of tentacles.
Ah, all right, that sounds great. And the tentacles are kind of like one mass?
Yes.
Okay. We'll firebolt it.
Cool.
Shoot it with some fire. $13 to hit.
A 13 is a hit.
Yay!
All that damage.
I got 3 fire damage.
Ooh, 3. Yeah, you blast it. There's a sudden flash of light. What is your firebolt? Does it look like just regular fire? Is it red and yellow flame, or does it look special?
Yeah. So like it kind of it comes out of a contraption that looks kind of like a lighter. If a lighter were like three times bigger than it actually is, and kind of like road flare-esque, Walker like takes it and like strikes it twice, and then points it like at the thing.
Like a Roman candle.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. It wasn't just me that was thinking that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm glad you picked up on that.
Yeah, you are an artificer, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes.
it is a tube that is launching
Yeah.
material.
100%.
Yeah. There's that burst of bright light as it strikes. You see the tentacles lash out above you, Kheddeerta, who is almost up. It's Gornak first, and then Kheddeerta's turn.
So
Everything's
Gornak's gonna,
moving so fast.
yeah, Gornak's gonna hear all the action in the other room, the fire, the lightning, the splashing, and he's going to kind of put down the bauble that he was carefully trying to reorganize and move into action and wade through this water that is very, very familiar to him. And he's going to kind of draw his dagger as he's going and take in the scene as he crosses the threshold and try and kind of creep around to the back almost and hit it with a surprise attack, his little special action for the Bugbear.
All right.
Ready? I think that's a 16 to hit. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
Hit him.
That is definitely a hit.
Okay. We've got 5 points of regular piercing damage, and then for the surprise attack, we've got 10 more points, so 15 points.
Yeah, that does it. As you slice through with your knife, does your knife look like anything? Is it just a regular dagger, or is it special in any way?
It's probably closer to like a diving kind of oyster shucking kind of knife. He grabs a big clump of tentacles with one hand and just uses the kind of hook on the end and just rips and tries to sever as many as possible.
Yeah, you feel you've been stung by jellyfish before. Gornak has. And as you feel those stings and the numbness start to go up your arm, you tear your blade across, hooking them and ripping these tentacles, severing them from this bugbear. And you watch as the luminescence fades. Kheddeerta, you're pushing yourself up onto your feet and getting ready to escape out of the tendrils as the body splashes back down into the water in front of you. Gornak holding a knife from behind it and clutching these tendrils in one paw.
You okay?
I think so. I'm alive. As she pats herself up and down, looking for wounds aside from the small burn marks that she has from the lightning.
Yeah, as you kind of take a look at yourself and you're patting yourself down, you can feel the raised markings from where those tendrils hit you, where your flesh is already kind of bubbling up, welting from where they struck you at. But you otherwise are all you. All of your pieces are there.
I'm gonna need samples of that to try to figure out what the heck that was.
Well,
Miss
it's like
Chris getting up, and that was embarrassing.
it's edible. Like a large bowl of ramen.
Ew.
These tentacles. And he kind of is looking at him like, these weren't the ones I recognize. And that thought is kind of crossing over his mind, but
Don't eat those yet, please.
Yeah, those don't look good. She's having a reaction there.
Walker busts out a like a little bottle, little vial, little test tube, and tries to find one of these things to put in to stop her to give to Kheddeerta.
Yeah, you have no problem gathering it up. It's interesting being a Warforged with a little bit of electrical jolt coming through your metal digits. You don't feel the same numbness and tingling that the others do as you scoop up some of the tendril and slide it in, pass it over. Kheddeerta, you're handed this vial. It's got a little bit of purple water in it from the sunken sea, and it has this tendril that's still just slightly wiggling and moving.
Okay, I'm gonna need to go back to my shop and check out my own head, and I need to do a bunch of tests on this. Could you collect a couple more samples, and I will try to figure out what the heck this stuff is and what it's doing?
I'm going to collect more samples, and I'm going to take one for myself as well.
Gornak's gonna...
I can also assist with that. I'm sure I've got some containers for collecting samples of stuff in my pack.
And then Gornak's gonna kind of drag this creature and corpse over to a sunken dining room table, just to kind of get it a little bit more in the visible spectrum for these people as they're looking at it.
I'm gonna want to do a further investigation of that body, too.
Perhaps it would be prudent to invite Matthias back to bear witness to this happening.
Either that, or with these samples, I can provide a report to him, too.
Indeed. Mostly the unusualness of this happening, I feel, should likely make it even less likely that our friend Gornak here was the perpetrator.
Correct me if I don't think that this thing took itself and his body killed. I think this is just something who needed a host, right?
That is
Seems
entirely
that way.
possible.
Yeah, you take another look at the body, Kheddeerta, now that it's been drug up on dry ground. You see these little tentacles, these nubs sticking out of his back. Do you want to examine him here, or do you want to remove the body back to your own lab to take a closer look?
Can you guys help me take this back to my shop and my lab so I've got some better equipment to deal with this?
Indeed.
Happy to help, as long as I don't have to touch it.
It'll create an awful scene.
Can we put
Do
something
we have
over it?
any...
You want to tie this 300-pound bugbear up in my linens and drag him?
Get you new linens.
I can go back and see if I can get more of the gardeners to come help us take it back.
That's probably the best call.
Do you want gardeners back in your house?
We can at
get
least put it
the house.
outside. Well, does anybody know what this is?
Gross.
And
That's all I got.
No, but it seems like it might be a more evolved version of the type of fungus that takes over ants and spiders.
I got pretty good history and arcana scores. Is that a thing I can roll to see if I know anything about it? This stuff?
Yeah, you can roll an Arcana check. So if there are monstrosities or magical creatures that resemble this.
Seems more nature, though, doesn't it?
It does.
I roll
Oh.
a nature check.
You can.
Got
Not
a
my forte.
19.
A 19 with your Arcana check. Walker, you know, lodged away deep inside of some memory you can't access, some thought that is in there, that there are arcane creatures like this, things which can be summoned from different planes of existence, things which creep in the edges of darkness, which, to be fair, is what Brightshore is. It's on the edge of darkness of what's known. It would make sense that things like this would come creeping in out of the water and out of the caverns around you. As horrifying as it is, it's the kind of thing that can be found in a place like this. Kheddeerta, with your nature check, how'd you do?
22.
Dear God.
Decent.
There's a couple things that stand out to you. One, your initial thought on it being a fungus, and reminding you of what happens to those ants and other creatures, that evolved version of a spore-carrying entity, actually rings true as you're looking at it more closely. You see these tendrils that have burst out of it. They do look almost fungal in the way that they're made up. And they're made out of sinew and viscera from the Bugbear itself. It looks like it grew out of his body.
Yummy.
Though I may be a little right in my initial hypothesis, but I'll need to do further testing to try to get more answers.
Now, there are things like this of an arcane nature that exist, and it would, in my research that I've done, it would make sense for Brightshore to see an entity such as this being sort of on that edge of darkness, dealing with creatures of a vile nature that perhaps lurk just outside of the light.
And this is why I explore the tunnels and not the water through this.
Follow my train of thought for a second. You said he was consuming a lot of fungus, correct?
Yes, for a long time.
Perhaps he ingested some of this, although I thought it was more of an aquatic creature that took over.
It's not entirely aquatic. It also looks like it's been repurposing the body's sinew and stuff.
Look at his neck wound. Does it look like something forced itself in through the neck wound?
It looks like something crawled its way out.
Of the neck wound?
Yes.
It looks like something crawled its way out of the neck wound.
It's disturbing.
Oh, goodness. That would explain a couple of things. Well, no, it wouldn't.
It would
But
absolve
if
me, so at least we're done here, right?
Done absolving you, yes. That it appears as if these wounds were exit wounds. You definitely couldn't have done it, and yeah, this is more than a murder. Is this a new species?
I
I
think
have to make a report. This is really disturbing.
Walker takes a quick cursory glance at Gornak's things to see if he has a wand of shrinking.
No, but in your cursory glance, some of the things that stick out to you, well, he's had time to put things away. There's nothing there that looks like a wand of reduction.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Could be hiding it, though.
That was the first thing I put away.
Good guy Gornak would never do that.
Like a wand of suppository or something. What are you trying to get at?
I think you nailed it right there.
Yeah.
I think for the purposes of... I think for the purposes of following up with the gardeners, maybe we just take murder completely off the table. If this was some creature infected him and crawled out, murder didn't happen here. This was accidental death. Happens from time to time.
That still doesn't explain why here, and how did the fur get onto the doorstop unless he hit his head, and I'm not seeing any evidence of that.
Sure. I would suspect probably somebody found him and put him here for some reason. I'm more saying we should explain to them that it's not murder, so that Gornak is in the clear and people maybe get a little less agitated because of a murder having happened.
That's why I said I need to make a report.
Sure. But you were still calling it a murder, is why I was saying we should.
Let's get that word off the tip of our tongues, shall we?
Yep.
It looks more like maybe there was an incident and there were other individuals that were perhaps involved that didn't necessarily want a dead body in their vicinity.
Yeah.
Be my thought. But I will say, this clears Gornak of having murdered whoever this is. That doesn't necessarily mean that whatever happened here wasn't malicious in nature.
Oh, we should absolutely follow up. I'm curious.
I also have another hypothesis as to something. These wounds here being an exit wounds, but I found something that was pressing up against my own hand in its stomach region, which leads me to think that something was ingested in some way, and one thing left, but perhaps left spores or larvae behind to mature in his gut region.
That seems most unfortunate.
I mean, it's known that there are some predatory organisms that will lay their eggs inside of things, and when they hatch, they eat from the outside or inside out. And well, I don't know if exactly that's what's going on here, but maybe.
That sounds unfortunate.
Yeah, it does.
Alright, is there anything you want to wrap up here inside of Gornak's abode, Gornak's abode, before moving off to Kheddeerta's lab?
Far away is her her shop.
Is there any kind of cart that we could requisition in this area?
There are small, like, push boats, little rafts to get around. Carts aren't really a factor in the dockside district. There's buckets. He's pretty big, though. I mean, he's not as heavy now.
Probably get a door off of one of the sunken homes and see if we can kind of float him on there. Like,
Float him along on that, and then, use it as kind of a... drag it as a whatchamacallit. Once we
leader,
level in.
almost litter.
There you go. Exactly.
Alright, so you choose to do it yourselves. You put the body on a door, on a waterlogged door. You attach a rope to it. You begin dragging this corpse through the streets. You take the bundle of rope-like tendrils, toss those in a bag, affix it to the corpse. Yeah.
Cover it up with a bed sheet.
Yeah. You were promised fresh bedding, which might be the first time in your life.
Gonna collect on that.
Yeah, Meizaphir is known for paying his debts. You don't ever remember him doing that as a kid. Your lab is in Old Town, correct, Kheddeerta?
Yes.
Yeah. You drag the corpse back through the waterways and get to the southern gate into Old Town. The guards there quiz you for a bit on what's going on, but ultimately, Kheddeerta, you were able to secure access. You make it clear that you were given authority by Matthias, and you move onward to your lab. When you all arrive at Kheddeerta's home, some of you might be a little surprised to find it is fairly large for someone so small. This is one of the founding 400s, one of their houses. And so, built along it now, there are other quarters and other shops and buildings. In Kheddeerta, you come to your front door, and on festival day that your parents are likely to be in eating food with your family right now.
So, wait out here real quick. I need to go talk. I will be right back. Just keep this. Were we actually able to get it covered and whatnot as before? Okay. Just keep it here and covered, and I'll be right back. And she runs to where her family are.
Okay. Yeah, you dart in through the front door, down the hallway, and sure enough, there they are in the dining hall. There's about 15 of them gathered together, of your cousins and siblings, your mom, dad, your aunt, your uncle. They're all in here, chatting with one another, and as you come bustling in, soaked with welts carving down your face, your dad spins and turns towards you. Oh, Kheddeerta, honey, what's wrong?
I need to talk to you real quick.
Of course, yeah, anything.
Outside.
All right. Your mom starts to get up as well, and they both exit from the room with you. Is everything okay?
No, things are not okay. So we just got attacked after
You were attacked.
looking into what we thought was going to be a murder investigation, but it turns out there might actually be a brand new species of a zombie virus or a zombie fungus of some sort that took over the dead body of a deceased bugbear, and we need to figure out what it is and what's going on with it. And I need my lab.
What do you... Okay. Okay, your mom steps by and goes over to the front door and pulls it open. You all see a gnome woman. Some of you have probably seen her before. She's wearing she's wearing white robes, white gardener robes, as she peeks her head out and she sees the lot of you standing there, and she glowers. She goes from like an inquisitive look to being so mad, and then she turns around on you, Kheddeerta, your mother whirls, and she's like, you have been running around with them and gotten yourself into some kind of trouble. What's going on? And the door slams shut.
Meizaphir was doing his damnedest to look very nonchalant, like nothing's going on here. It's a well-practiced look for him.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about murder? Is that a body out there? There's a body? And your dad comes trundling past and opens the door. You all see a little dark gnome head poke out. He looks at all of you, and then he steps out and closes the door quietly behind him. And you're kind of like, there's a body.
No. We got taken into questioning by Matthias, who was there at the house, and they were questioning Gornak, accusing him of murder, and this body was there, but we don't think there was murder now because all of the wounds look like exit wounds, and there was some sort of fungus inside of the body that burst out into these big tentacles. I have samples, and we need to figure out if it's some sort of new species or what it actually is.
Yes, your mom, Kheddeerta, she looks exasperated. Yes, you can use your lab. Look, I'll deal with your dad. I know he's probably not going to be okay with it. And once you're all done here, I'm going to want to read your notes before you submit them. I'm assuming you're something. You have the authority to do this.
Matthias told me to keep watch on what was left of the house and everything. So, yep.
Outside, you do see her dad, who had poked out and closed the door behind him. He's like, you guys got a body? he steps over and pulls back the cloth.
Walker does it for him, actually. Walker's like, indeed, and he just pulls the cover back.
Oof.
Awfully forward of you.
Oh,
yeah.
Right, propriety. My apologies. Yes, there is a dead body. You most likely would not want to look at.
He reaches forward and pulls the thing back. And he's holding a spoon, like a wooden spoon that he was in the middle of eating with. And he wipes it off on his robe and starts probing the exit wound. The exit wound. Huh.
You've seen something like this before?
No, nothing like this before. I mean, I've seen plenty of... Usually, this kind of looks like... Are they eating? It's like what fish... Kind of like fish damage. Hold on. And he peels the cloth back further. And checks like fingers and toes and nose. Like, no, it has his ears and his nose and everything. The body's wet, but where did you find this?
That's
in my home.
An investigation. But yes, it was in Gornak's home.
Why did you know what? Not my business. He raises the spoon up. Got a little bit of Bugbear on it now. Kind of points it at all of you. Don't mess this up for her. Don't mess this up.
What is it?
Why would
I mess up?
Meizaphir, don't start with
what?
me. Don't start.
Alright. Puts his hand up. Alright.
Don't mess this up.
No, start. Yeah.
Okay.
Perhaps at this point it is prudent that we get another higher ranking gardener involved. Thoughts?
Look. Kheddeerta. She's good. Her mom and I, we are higher ranking gardeners. You want Matthias over here. You probably don't want me calling for Matthias, do you? Whatever's going on with this body.
I'm unsure. That is why I asked for people's thoughts.
Well, I'll tell you what. And at that point, the door opens up as Kheddeerta's mom and Kheddeerta are there in the doorway.
Kheddeerta looks very exasperated.
He puts the spoon away very quickly.
Sheath. Quick sheath.
Yep, I told him, honey. I told him they can't be bringing that body in here. But you know what they're gonna do. And then he goes and pushes past the two of them, quickly giving you kind of like a nudge hug, Kheddeerta, as he passes you in the doorway. And then he heads back into the table. Kind of waiting.
He gives him a smile and a wink.
Forgive me, I thought this was your home.
I mean, I live here. It is. Not just my home.
Very well.
Okay, this way.
As you enter into the house, you smell the feast of fungi that has been cooked and prepared from further in, and you hear the chatter, the excited chatter of many voices down a hallway that Kheddeerta does not take you down. As she turns and takes a sharp right and leads you past several doors leading off into rooms and eventually into her own lab. What does your lab setup look like, Kheddeerta?
It is, oddly enough, immaculate. Like, everything has a place, and everything is in its place. Anything that is askew is just mostly something that's in the middle of being worked on, but it looks like anything that was left was meticulously placed to the side. Like, this is all laid out in a very organized manner. There are books everywhere, but they're also like neatly bookmarked and put in particular places of like, I am referencing this and this is the next one I'm referencing, so it's very well organized.
Drag the Bugbear body in, place it up on the table.
Raping the floors.
Yes, its long limbs fall back to the floor from where it's being held up at.
Dragging its knuckles, bumping into the chairs that your parents are sitting on.
Yep.
Leaving residue.
All
this small.
Yeah, it's true. Dragging a wet corpse through a small house.
Yeah, this gnomish size house. This large door that the Bugbear probably can't fit through your guys' doors.
You have to take him off. Turn him
turn
sideways.
it
On the
sideways.
couch. Yep. Yeah. And eventually drag him in. It's weird. His body is a little floppier than you would expect as you're pulling him through the house.
Doesn't seem like rigor mortis is actually taking effect. I wonder if that is the result of the fungus that's encroached on its body.
It could be that this fungus or creature fed on whatever muscles would cause it. Should I go fetch Matthias? I have no part here.
Yes, please.
See if we can pull him away from his festivities.
If you would like it, I would accompany you.
As you wish.
And I guess Gornak will go get Matthias.
Yep, I'll stay here.
Okay.
And not start anything.
sit on your hands.
Scalpel.
Scalpel.
I believe you.
Kheddeerta. begin forensic analysis of this body. Are you going like full autopsy route? What is your method of entry into this bugbear?
I would I would say full autopsy.
Okay.
Route, and like she starts pulling out papers and notebooks and starts making measurements of different things and like just starts taking meticulous notes of anything and everything that she can possibly look at, and is kind of very focused, and yet at the same time will just absently hand Matthias or hand Meizaphir something, just like assuming that he's just going to grab it and hold it for her, and then she'll take it back and continue what she's doing.
Hold this spleen. Or hold this. At one point, Meizaphir, you're holding like 3 books, juggling them. One's like the anatomy of the goblinoid, waterlogged bodies.
Happy to hold books.
Yeah, waterlogged bodies in you. The future of fungi. Like, these are the tomes that you are leafing through, some of which your parents wrote and transcribed. They are fairly advanced in this field, but many of them you've added, like the margins are filled with Kheddeerta's lettering and notes, where either you found inconsistencies or other bits of information that you could add. You begin slicing open the bugbear. You finally find his sternum and the right lines to slice down, and you peel back that slipping fur, like I was saying before. You're grabbing it and you feel it's already slipping out of the hair follicles are slipping out of the flesh from below. As you cut into him, the body doesn't ooze blood, doesn't release water or any other things, and you peel the skin back and it's like a wet, it's just wet hide, wet fur and skin. Inside the primary cavity, you find the lungs are missing, the heart is missing, much of the liver, kidneys, the stomach is missing, the intestines, the majority of them are gone, and you see that much of it, where his back was, his spine has deteriorated. There are bits of bone here and there kind of floating, but there is no consistent mass inside of this body. In fact, much of the corpse at this point is just fur, nails and cartilage, and nestled like it's a polyp, a growth, a fungal entity that is nestled down above the pelvic bone. And it glows.
Gross.
Goodness, this is dangerous. Very, very dangerous. This could... I don't know what this is, but this could be very, very, very bad. And possibly contagious, and... Okay.
Maybe something to put in a box. Get it out of the body. Put it in something.
Use gloves.
I'm yes, and yet at the same time I'm also really afraid to move this thing, lest it well, I don't want it to release anything.
That's the thought going through your head. The fact that you drug this into your home and that fungus spread through spores, glowing spores. As we cut to Walker and Gornak trucking through Old Town towards the Meridian Palace, where you know the gardeners have their base. The glow, the green glow coming from the knotwork of mycelium and fungus that dots the superstructure that the gardens are grown within fills the streets as you get closer. It's certainly the brightest place in all of Brightshore, and without the normal foot traffic going in and out of it, as it's a festival day. You near the massive gates, 30-foot tall, iron and timber gates that are meant to keep out the masses. Standing in the two towers to either side are guards with crossbows, one of the most dangerous weapons in all of Brightshore, and they are trained on you as you advance.
What the hell?
Walker waves.
State your business.
Yes. We are here looking for Gardener Matthias. He had business dealings with us earlier, and we seek to continue.
Who are you? Oh, you're Walker. Who are you? He looks past Walker at the Bugbear.
This is my associate, Gornak.
Nobody.
This is my associate, Nobody.
The guards, the crossbow-wielding guards, look at each other and then back down at you. And then one of them departs the tower, heading inside the facility, as the other one stays there, the crossbow trained.
Do I know who this card person is?
He shifts his aim from Walker to Gornak.
Do I know who he is?
Yeah, you recognize him. His name is Reginald.
Reginald, I believe, correct?
Yes. Yep.
How's the family?
Good. Celebrating festival day, like most people. I had to get up early and get there myself, but you know how it is. Sometimes some jobs are too important.
Indeed, we were pulled away by Gardener Matthias ourselves for just such a task. That's why we are here. What did you offer this year?
We had, as a family, we made paintings this year of the founding 400 and offered those up. So I did 20 small paintings that I had focused on this year, and I grew in my abilities with painting. I'm actually quite happy with how they turned out. How about yourself?
Very thoughtful offering.
Did you make another robot like last year?
Indeed, an effigy.
Yeah, my children.
As I have done every year.
Really love watching you do that each year. It's one of their favorites.
It is meticulous.
He is in there, right? He didn't go to the festival. Should we look elsewhere?
Oh no, if Matthias is here, if he's really waiting for you, he'll come. But he's busy, you know.
Oh, it is less a matter that he was waiting and more that we have potentially urgent news that involves him.
Aren't those kind of the same thing?
One, I think, involves him purposely and actively waiting. The other involves him unknowingly needing our attention.
But you just want to leave your message for him with me?
I would assume it is likely better if we deliver it to him ourselves.
Well, it looks like you're going to get your opportunity. He steps to the side, and Matthias steps into the tower, looking down at you. He's about 25 feet up.
Does he have a crossbow?
He does not. He does not have a crossbow.
Warm welcome.
He has a ballista. We have an update. Where's Kheddeerta? He burns his brow and looks. You don't have to. He looks suspicious at this point.
Yeah, Walker probably wouldn't know what that means. She is at her lab conducting a more thorough autopsy of the entity that was found. There has been an exceedingly concerning revelation in that previous business we had been discussing that is extremely disturbing.
Why don't you just pay me the same courtesy and just follow us?
Be down in a moment. A side door in the wall is pushed open. And it closes behind him, and you hear a latch. You hear the sound of it locking from behind him.
Her security is surprising.
Since the food riots, you have the need to be certain.
That was long before I was even born. You're still worried about that?
There's a reason they haven't happened again. Some of us stay worried so that everyone stays fed.
Let's move on to the lab and see what's on the slab.
I didn't know bugbears were poetic.
I
suppose
saw
it
it in a
serves you
play.
well. I suppose it serves you well to be separated from them.
My charming demeanor.
I've always found Gornak to be reasonably pleasant, if not charming.
It does speak to your character, Walker.
Gornak will start wandering off.
It's heading back in the direction of the left.
Yeah, I figured we were
you're
walking.
This small talk is killing him.
Difficult. He keels over. My weakness.
He takes 1d4 psychic damage with every pleasantry exchanged.
Kheddeerta, you're looking at this glowing growth, and you hear a knock on your door.
Yes? Don't come in.
I'm not doing anything.
Meizaphir gets a little concerned.
You drug me here.
Oh, you. Yes, okay.
Yeah, you hear Matthias's voice come through the door as he's now turned on Walker and Gornak.
And she...
Are you okay in there?
I hope so. And, she slowly, puts everything...
Are we okay in here?
I hope so. So she's going to very carefully cover the body back up again. Don't touch anything. And
tell me twice.
She'll grab Meizaphir by the wrist and pull him out of her lab, and she very firmly shuts it behind her when they're both out.
I thought we were going to shut
I've made a big mistake. So, I made a discovery, and we, not to alarm anyone, but could be in danger. So I found that, and she starts, she grabs her book and starts going over her notes, and she's going over all of the organs were missing and deteriorated, and it pretty much looks like everything has been eaten from the inside out, and there is a large fungal entity nesting in the pelvic bone of the body, that it appears as though perhaps he might have gotten infected and something grew and then came out, and I don't know about exposure to anyone else from this.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to go get several wet blankets. I'm gonna need you to go get a chest that's large enough for him to be packed within. I'm guessing it doesn't need to be as big as he is, but his body is a limp like that. Walker, I need you to go get lamp oil.
Get what?
Lamp oil. You're gonna need at least... You're gonna need more than it's comfortable to use.
Okay. Also, to note, is this some sort of disease that you're worried about?
Fungus spores.
Think nobody stuck their spoon in it or anything.
Huh?
You seem awfully nonplussed there, Matthias.
Take care of what I said. We're gonna deal with this. Go get heavy, wet blankets, bring them here. We need a chest to put the body in, and we need lamp oil.
Okay.
And she runs off and starts gathering things.
And talk to your dad about his spoon.
Spoon? What spoon?
Your dad poked the body with a spoon.
I poked it with a lot better modern spoon.
Well, I see, it was, around that. Okay, never mind. And Walker slowly and deliberately starts heading, I guess, to his workshop to get a bunch of lamp oil.
Get a bunch of oil. Yep.
Yeah.
Finding a chest that size is probably going to be kind of tricky. So Gornak's going to look for like a small dinghy or something like that he could kind of maybe it's up on kind of wheels or something to move it around while it gets repaired or something. Gonna see if he can find something like that to be able to throw the body in.
Yeah, you have no difficulties finding that down at the riverfront here that cuts through Old Town. Yeah, there's one looks like it was in the middle of being repaired. It's fairly nice. Certainly nicer than anything that exists in the dockside. But you have no problem at all. Yeah, you have no problem at all wheeling it away and dragging it. Walker, you get back to your shop and start pulling your oil. Lamp oil is expensive. This requires finding beasts within the sunken sea that can be harvested for it. But you've had a long time here, and long enough to slowly acquire a hoard of it. As you begin, gathering it up. Yeah, and for your flamethrower and what have you, it's been useful.
It always is.
Kheddeerta, you head off to grab the blankets and begin soaking them. Meizaphir, are you standing there with Matthias?
No, I was going to be helping her with the blankets. I don't want to be standing around with him.
Yep, that's probably for the best.
Here, hold this, and yeah.
Yeah, as you come back by, you feel the grip upon your shoulder as you start to step into the lab to help Kheddeerta with the blankets. And Matthias goes, "Just a moment, Meizaphir." Go ahead, Kheddeerta.
He's been a very good assistant.
What you want?
Listen here. I don't know what your family has gotten into or what they've been starting.
Oh, I see. So lead number 1 dries up. You're just going to point at the next most obvious target?
This isn't the first body we found like this week.
What? Who else?
Your cousin.
Which one?
John Boy.
Huh. I didn't hear about that.
I'm sure you didn't. Your father made it very clear that the family wasn't to talk about it.
Who else?
There have been 3 other bodies found this last month.
Uh-huh.
All of them glow bright addicts.
Fuck. And you think that has to do something with my family for some reason?
He gives you a withering look.
Uh-huh. I'm used to it.
I don't think your mother would appreciate you being caught up in all this.
Hey man, I've been trying to distance myself from all of that for a while now. Thanks for noticing.
I have noticed. I think it's in all of our best interests for us to work together on this. It's unfortunate that I was hoping this was a simple case of murder.
That is unfortunate. That whole sentence.
He lets go your shoulder, stands back straight again. You're not to blame for whatever your dad's done.
It's not in my dad's interest to, if he were involved in this, having people die is not in his interests.
Well, maybe we'll find out whose interest it is in.
Let's hope.
My leads have run dry. People don't like to talk to gardeners about these things.
Yeah.
I'm glad we have an understanding.
Sure. What is it? He's giving him a look again.
Yeah, that Walker, at this point, Walker, Gornak, coming back, that Gornak, Kheddeerta, you come back into the hall, and Acolyte Kheddeerta are going to get to the bottom of this. But first, we're going to destroy this.
Okay. The other ones get destroyed the same way?
Not the first 2, which was a mistake.
I don't suppose there's any way to take a sample of that before it gets destroyed, is there?
We have samples.
It's both good and bad.
So, Pardon me for coming late to the party. You have found more bodies like this in a similar state?
Yes.
Wait, what?
Meizaphir holds up his hand with 3 fingers up.
What?
But yet you accuse Gornak of killing him first thing?
I was
He was
unaware.
hoping it was murder.
Yes. That is correct.
Did they have similar wounds on them? The other?
No.
It may be prudent to say that the neck wound that this individual sustained seems to have been an exit wound from something pushing its way out. So there may be an entity capable of this thing at large.
It's possible. The other bodies were further decomposed.
But no exit wounds?
Nothing that was discernible. We assumed that they'd been eaten by something from the outside. But let's take care of this.
That seems prudent.
Walker, you're all standing around a box that's been coated in oil. You're standing out at the edge of the rubble, far beyond where anyone from town can see. You look around at the ground. There's another crate. There's other bits of burnt wood. Remnants of others. Matthias looks at you. Well,
Light it up, Walker.
Ah, indeed. He pulls out like another tube-like contraption that has like a pull lever on it. I guess it's firebolt at it.
it's warm. It cuts through the chill here in Brightshore. As for the second time today, you gather around a fire. You warm your hands. But your memories are cold as this body burns into nothingness.
Thank you for listening to Brightshore. This and other settings, modules, and maps for various TTRPGs can be found at patreon.com/Dungeon Rogues. Rate, review, like, follow, or subscribe wherever you're listening. We will see you next time on the rocky beaches of Brightshore.